Hi, I'm Ryder White, and I'm an American. Now I'm a co-founder of the Canadian Framelines Project, along with Alexandra Caulfield, of course. Um, and some people have said to me, people who know me, of my background and everything, they say, "Why are you doing this project? Why are you looking into Canadian identity? You're from the United States. You're an American citizen." Um, But 4 years ago, I immigrated to this country, to Canada, from the United States with my mother. And I'm a permanent resident now, and I'm on the track to Canadian citizenship, potentially in the year following the Canadian Framelines voyage. So, hoping to get that together. Um, Being Canadian means something special to me, and it is kind of interpreted in black and white terms a lot these days, especially current political problems down in the United States. A lot of people say, "Oh, I'll move to Canada," and this is kind of something that's been echoed a lot, ever dating back to the '60s and things like that. We have a lot of draft dodgers coming up to Canada to evade being sent to Vietnam, and some people also sort of interpret it as a denigration of the United States. They say they feel kind of upset. Some American people who I know, they feel rebuked by the fact that I'm becoming a Canadian citizen, and I want to make it clear that I'm not renouncing my American citizenship, but I'm really going to enjoy the fact of being a dual citizen if everything goes well with the Canadian end. But there are some special things that Canada offers to me that I don't really feel in the United States. Um, and I haven't quite been able to place what it is, and that's one of the main reasons for doing this project. But when I walk out of my door here, anywhere here I am in BC, and I get this, and whenever I'm talking to somebody else up here, there's kind of this energy, this unreleased potential that's kind of like on on the other side of the dam. It's kind of the way it feels. And there's something very special happening up here, between people and also just in the actual physical land. And it could be a matter of just the sheer force of the landmass of Canada being, what is it, the second largest country in the world. There's just a whole lot of mass here, solid resources. That's kind of an economics term, but there's just a lot of everything here, and it just seems so, still in the 21st century, wild and untamed. I think that kind of up here is as sort of a frontier, and people can kind of think of it that way. And Canadian art in particular has always kind of been on that edge, having never received as much attention perhaps as our neighbors to the south. People in Canada have sort of thought of different little ways to integrate their art into society, and in large part the governmental organizations and non-governmental organizations, different institutions surely have embraced that. And there's a much greater support for arts and artists up here, I think, on an individual level than there is in the United States, and maybe in most other places in the world, from what I've experienced personally. And I think that this is also a function of funding and supporters per capita, whereas in the United States, population is pushing something like 300 million people now. In Canada, we're barely over 30 million. So we're a small number up here, but there's still a fantastic amount of intellectual and artistic creative ability up here, and innovation in all sectors, scientific as well, those are also discoveries that I really like hearing about. But it's very much like a smaller community. We're very nimble as a country, being a smaller population. I feel like our identity can be stronger as a result of that. In any case, Canadian Framelines is pitched primarily at Canadians, of course, because it's sort of an obvious market for it. But I think that this project has great potential for relationships with countries over the entire world. This is the 21st century, of course, and we're very interconnected. We trade with everybody. So in short, I think Canadian Framelines has a lot to do with, not only Canada, not only the United States, but the rest of the world as well. We're all very interconnected in the 21st century, and it behooves every country to understand both their own national identity and the identities of people the rest of the world over, so we can all sort of function more like neighbors and less like strangers. And I think this project could serve maybe as a model for people in other countries looking to do the same thing. And back home, I've also noticed that these sort of artistic / anthropological surveys take place kind of in intervals, and we're hitting another wave of that right now. So I'm very excited for all of the research on Canadian identity that we're seeing, and the information that it can bring to light for the rest of the world. So, signing off as a Canadian and as an American, I'm looking forward to finding things out myself and bringing information such as I can to you.